I would just like to start off by saying there is no storm mechanic in this video. I am Bryant Cook, and tonight we're playing Esper Reanimator. Thanks to Pim Langen for this donation deck. It is Pim's favorite deck. Pim asked me to provide some thoughts, whatever, before we hop on into the league. So when I was reviewing this deck list, and I'll be honest, I am not an Esper Reanimator expert, so if you don't like my feedback, you don't have to listen to it. It's fine. I've played this deck a handful of times. I've never actually played the elemental version before, so this is a first for me. But hey, we're going to see what we can do here. So I was looking over the deck list and I was like, okay, yeah, Tainted Indulgence, a brand new card from Streets of New Capenna. If you're unfamiliar, you draw 2 and then discard a card unless you control 5 or more different mana values. So this is a pretty sweet one. But I was looking over the deck list and I was like, yeah, this looks about stock. And then I saw these 2 Muldrifters and I thought to myself, these don't really look familiar, but maybe they're in here because of the Ephemerates, but is 4 mana really what you want to be doing to draw 4 cards? Like, I don't think that's modern power level anymore. So I looked up other deck lists on MTG Goldfish, and there is not a Muldrifter to be seen. I think that those 2 slots should be pretty much anything else. I just don't think that Muldrifter is modern power level. That said, I could be wrong. So we're going to play this league tonight and find out. Pim asked me to look at the sideboard, but once again, I'm not an expert. I don't know if you actually need Stony Silence in this day and age. I don't think it does what you're looking for against decks like Hammer, and there's no real dedicated artifact decks that see play, so I think Stony Silence is a little bit odd here. But other than that, everything else in the sideboard looks good to me, so those are my thoughts. If you have any suggestions for Pim, because, well, I'm not an expert, so I don't know. I feel like I'm not doing Pim a real service here. I'm just playing Pim's favorite deck so that way Pim can watch it. But leave a comment down below or any thoughts you have on the deck list. I'm sure that Pim would appreciate that. But for now, I'm going to hop on into match number 1. I hope to see you there. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to click that like button, leave a comment, and subscribe. That said, there's no better way of showing your support than becoming a member of this channel. You get sweet perks, and we get to keep making combo content. The perks get better and better each level you go up. They also stack. To start off, with our Storm Fan tier, you unlock our private members section of our Discord, which comes with a highlighted user profile and then some awesome badges and emotes for YouTube. Looking for sideboard help? Become a Stormtrooper, our middle tier, for 2 sideboard guides of your deck choice every single month, on top of 50% off donation decks. Did we mention you also get 10% off merchandise from our shop? With our top tier, the Combo Cabal, you get a free donation deck every single month, 15% off merchandise from our shop, early access to private deck lists, and the most valuable perk in my opinion, videos early. That's right, you heard it, early access to all videos. But maybe sweet perk, secret deck list, early access to videos isn't for you, but you'd still like to show your appreciation. Make sure to check out theepicstorm.com/shop for card singles and Storm swag. Please don't forget to use your membership discounts. Finally, if you want to see your combo deck here on this very YouTube channel, make sure to visit theepicstorm.com/donation decks, where all you have to do is attach your TXT file and pick a donation tier. With our Epic tier, you can even join me in a video to showcase your bold brew in person and explain the ins and outs of your strategy. Card availability won't be an issue due to our new sponsor, Card Hoarder. With Card Hoarder, renting is super easy. If you're looking to get into Magic Online, there isn't a better, more affordable solution than Card Hoarder. Fun fact, you can rent the Epic Storm for 7 tickets a week, which is just a great deal. There are many ways you can support us. Just pick whatever is best for you. In the meantime, let's play some Magic. Alright, it's time for the first match on Esper Reanimator. I'd love to get one of those turn 1 Grief Ephemerate hands. Let's see if we can do that. Alright, well, we opened up Grief, but the rest of this hand I don't think is particularly good. I think we're supposed to mulligan this. Our opponent revealed Gigantha, so they're probably on Death Shadow. I think we try this out, and we just bottom a Strand here. Alright, Watery Grave, pass that turn. Alright, this could be a Shadowland. Ouch. Pass the turn. Our opponent fetches with Wooded Foothills for a Blood Crypt. Okay. Could just be Jund, I suppose. I don't think that Shadow plays Wooded Foothills. I guess it could be 4-color Shadow. Alright, let's get a little bit faithful here. Discard the double Archon. Alright. Draw. Okay, so we'll play Teferi here, and then I can plus, or I'm sorry, minus it to bounce the Shredder. Pass the turn. Scourge of the Skyclaves, okay. Draw. Let's plus the Teferi. And I think I just want to pass here. So I can Prismatic Ending on their turn, but if they lead on like a large creature, I should be able to Solitude it and then get them a little bit. Oh, I guess it's my life total that's keeping this up. So that might not work. So Scourge is going to attempt to attack my Teferi. Let's just Ending here. Whoops, can't pay for it like that. Alright, so let's try 2 mana this time. Now they have an Arid Mesa. So they're 5-color. And there's the Shredder again. You got it. Alright, so we need to draw a white card here, and then I can Solitude Ephemerate and get both. Fetch. Alright. Draw. Did not hit the white card. I could try to Faithful Mending. But then it takes away my ability to hardcast. Well, it's free to start by plussing this. I think I want a flashback. Let's flashback this. Yikes, worst possible outcome. Okay, well, that hurt. Opponent with 5 cards in hand. Tribal flames at me, which then pumps up their Scourge of the Skyclaves. Is this Battle Rage? Okay, another Tribal Flames. So they're going for it here. So Scourge is a 10/10. And they have a large Shredder. So they can attack the Shredder at Teferi, and then the Scourge at me. Yeah, and that's exactly what they're doing here. It's really unfortunate that I didn't draw that white card. Alright, so Tef is going to go to 1. Alright, draw. Another land. We're going to hang on to this in case we draw another Faithful Mending. And I'm going to pass here. I can always use the Atawara to bounce the Shredder. 2 mana. A Dash Dragavan, okay. Yeah, we're really far behind right now. I feel like I flooded out a little bit this game. Alright, so Shredder's a 3/5. So the Ragavan's probably going to kill the Teferi here. Oh, nope, okay. So I think we play to keep the Tef alive. And then we can let them have the... I guess, I don't know, they get to replay the Shredder this way. It's sort of a damned if I do, damned if I don't. Muldrifter. And the Ledger Shredder is back. Bobble. And they're looking at my top card. Draw. I mean, I guess it's okay, but could be better. I have a bolt. So at least right now I go to 1, I believe. Pass the turn. They drew another spell. Oh, it's the Gigantha. So I can chump the Territorial Kavu. And they choose to discard the Gigantha, which is interesting. They also might want to consider attacking the Tef, just because it can bounce something. I'm not sure. Let's see what they choose. They choose all at me. Oh, bringing the Shredder back. And now Shredder's going at the Teferi. Which is probably the correct play. They remove an Archon of Cruelty, which is fine because we have 2 in there. I'm not overly concerned about that. We'll go to blocks. So if I block here... I go to 2. If I block this... Next turn, like I'm thinking the best possible thing that could happen is I hit Persist. And what happens if that's the case? So if I block the Territorial Kavu, I'm going to go to 5, which I believe means that Solitude is a decent hit for me. But if I block the Ragavan, I think I'm just dead, even if I draw Solitude. So I think I'm supposed to block the Kavu. Alright, we reveal Ephemerate. And a Wild Nicottle, okay. So they get another draw here off Bobble. We hit another Tef. So we'll plus here. Might as well play this, right? Keep the new one. Bounce this and hope to hit Persist. Oh my, we did it. I don't want them to know that I have it. So I'm going to pass here. Alright, so they dash Ragavan. Was I supposed to respond to that? I think I was. Yeah, I think I was supposed to respond to that. Because now they can just sacrifice Ragavan. Okay, well they picked up another, and then they got rid of that. So I think I'm supposed to return Archon here, because I don't want them to be able to sacrifice the Kavu. Alright, so we're going to go up to 8. Alright, we draw another Plains. Alright, we definitely need a Faithful Mending. Alright, draw. There we go. Plus, I think we're going to turn the corner here. Get in. And another Mending. Okay, let's cast one of these in case we get something that I want to main phase. Well, that was really good. Let's discard these 2 lands. They have no cards. Alright. I didn't realize that I was giving them a free connive here. So now that thing's a 4/6, that's kind of annoying. Guess we hit the Kavu still. Because the Archon is going to kill this on the way back. I can't believe we came back this game. They target themselves with the Bobble, which is honestly a little bit risky because the Grief... Okay, they're going to concede here. Wow, I can't believe... We hit a couple runners there. That was lucky. Very, very fortunate. So we definitely want these Fatal Pushes and the extra ending. I don't think we want the Mole Drifter. Let's get that out of the deck. And that brings us to 61. Maybe Tainted Indulgence? Just because this is a tempo matchup? Let's try this out. Game 2, on the draw. I think that this hand is fine. We're going to try this. I would keep this as a 6 with 3 lands, so let's just keep the extra land here. Turn 1 Channeler, draw. Hello, Solitude. I think I'm going to shock myself here, and we're going to Fatal Push just to get it off the board. I've experienced sometimes this deck boarding in Fluster or even um, the Ferocious counter. I can't think of it. Stubborn Denial. So I don't want to get burnt by waiting. And waiting just gives them Surveil and Delirium triggers as well, so you're not really rewarded for that play pattern. Another Channeler. Draw. We're just going to play a Hallowed Fountain and pass. Okay, so they picked up a Breeding Pool off their Scalding Tarn. 2 mana here. Dash Drags, okay. So I'll take 3. I don't think I'm supposed to burn the Solitude on the Ragavan here. Faithful Mending, that's a good one for them if they have a land in hand. And they don't. Okay, draw. So if I play the Teferi, it's just going to die to Dash Ragavan. And I don't have Solitude Fuel. If I plus it, it will go to 1, but is that even good enough? I do feel like they've been sitting with blue open this game. So I'm going to play the Tef, and I think we just plus it. And there's the Stubborn Denial. Get wrecked. And I threw away my white card. There's the punish. Okay, now they can dash Ragavan and hit me again. If they choose. And that will be the case. So we're about to go to 12. Ephemerate. It does give them a Surveil trigger. They choose not to cast it. Draw. I think I'm just going to hardcast Grief. Pick up the Swamp, I guess. I don't want to deal myself any damage here. Cast Grief. Bolt, Ragavan, Scourge, Stub. That Stub doesn't really matter right now. Alright, I'm going to take the Scourge. Alright, so they're lightning bolting in the upkeep so that way they can get a little bit of equity out of the Surveil trigger. They mill another Channeler, which is interesting. Cross off one of these bolts. So this is a pretty interesting decision in my opinion. So I can take away the Ragavan and then persist back a Solitude on my turn, but they have a bolt to clean it up. So it's going to be their Stubborn Denial and 2 unknowns versus my land. Or I can wait, but if I do that, I have to shock myself next turn, so I'm down 5 to 6. And I feel like that's a game where I just ultimately end up losing to what's it called? Tribal Flames. So I think I'm going to Solitude here. Let's get the Ragavan. I just hope that my draw steps sort of bail me out. Alright, draw. We did not draw a good one. Okay. Persist. So they have Lightning Bolt, Stub, and 1 unknown. Okay. There's the Bolt. So Stubborn Denial, 1 unknown. Now we know that it's Stubborn Denial plus Nicodle. Come on, deck, be good. I mean, we're 2 lands off from hardcasting it. If I draw like a Faithful Mending, that would be pretty good. But I've already used 1 Persist. So we're going to 7 off their attack this turn. They drew a bauble. Now they'll know what our draw was. Okay, so now we officially go to 7. They put Gigantha to hand. Okay. So they'll draw a random card, draw. I mean, that was pretty good. Have to buy time. This is a good way of doing it. So they have Stubborn Denial, Gigantha, and 2 unknowns after their draw. Okay, looks like we can gain some life here. So this is land 7. So the next land would allow me to hardcast the Archon. Hiya! I'm a beatdown deck. Alright, so if our opponent draws land 5 here, they can play Gigantha. And they do. Alright, let's see if we can draw land 8 and return the favor. You got it. That's a big elk. Draw. It is land 8, but it's a tap land. Oh, that's brutal. Okay, we have to pass here. The only tap land in the deck, the Singleton Raffine's Tower, and we're punished. Punished by the Raffine's Tower. That's a cat. Sure. So we know that their last card is the Soul Guide. Or I'm sorry, is the Stubborn Denial. Which does not counter the Archon because this is non-creature. Oh, it says counter that spell instead. I think it's still non-creature. I don't want to go to 4, so I'm just going to block. I'm really concerned about just dying when I have this Archon to turn the corner. I'm pretty sure it remains non-creature even with the Ferocious Claws. Draw. Sure, we'll play the extra land here. Where were you last turn, fetch land, huh? Archon of Cruelty the hard way. It is a 6/6 versus a 5/5 elk. Opponent drawing a card here off the Soul Guide. This triggers. They'll sacrifice the Wild Nacatl, and we get Grief. Pass the turn. I am not blocking, by the way. I will go to 9. The Archon dying to a possible Lightning Bolt is way worse. Well, they shouldn't have done that. They should have attacked first, but now they're getting punished for their decision. And let's just fetch the so they don't know our card. Draw. That was a good one. This should just wrap it up. Look at me, Bryant Cook, the combo guy, doing well with, I mean, Esper Reanimator is like sort of a combo deck, but I feel like it's more like a mid-range deck in Modern. Okay, let's just play this land, pass the turn. It's worth noting, we also have like 10 lands in play on turn 11. Not really what you want. And our opponents conceded the game. We've got match number 1 with Esper Reanimator. This deck felt like it had some grind in it, which was pretty nice. Certainly different from the other builds I've played in the past, but that was sweet. Stick around for the future matches. If you haven't joined them already, I would recommend opening up our description down below and joining our 7 social media networks. They're each great in their own way, but I would strongly suggest joining our Discord server. In there, you will find others just like you looking to improve their Storm game and grow as a combo community. If you're a member of our YouTube channel, you should sync your account to Discord to unlock our private member section that has the latest and greatest deck lists, concepts, and much, much more. Let's get back to comboing out. Keep. Welcome to match number 2. We have Unmarked Grave and a Persist. We don't have a white source, but I think this hand is, or I'm sorry, a blue source, but I still think that this hand is good enough. Let's see what our opponent's up to here. Seachrome Coast, so likely Hammer. Okay. Grief? Come on, give me Grief. That's a bummer. Alright, pass the turn. There's Memnite into Saga. 3 mana to Fairy. That's awkward. Yep. Fairy's particularly good here. This is not looking so hot now. We'll get an Archon. So I think my best draw just became Solitude. Alright, I think I'm actually just buried this game. And I'm pretty sure that the Teferi means that they're not Hammer. I've never seen Teferi and Hammer before, so this is probably like an 8-cast sort of deck, or like an 8-cast Stoneblade hybrid. Esper Sentinel, sure. Draw. Let's attempt to play the Persist. Draw your card. Am I getting hit by a Metallic Rebuke? Yup. Okay, let's go to the next one. That was embarrassing. Sure. So you might be thinking, like, this is a good spot for Stony Silence, but when we look at what our opponent was doing, it shuts off Springleaf Drum. I don't really feel like that's the sort of card we want here. Alright, so Prismatic Ending we definitely want. I think we want these Fatal Pushes as well. Choose a card type. I'm pretty sure I can name Artifact here, so we want that. So that's 64. Well, going to get rid of the Mole Drifters, I'm sorry. I just don't think they're what I want in this matchup. Alright, 62 still. This might be a little too slow, the Unburial Rites, against an aggressive deck like this. Maybe shave it to Teferi as well. Let's try this. Teferi obviously stops Metallic Rebuke, but they have a bunch of little creatures, which makes Teferi a little bit unreliable. On the play. So if we hit land 2, this is Archon. We have removal to buy a little bit of time. I'm going to regret this, but I think I'm going to keep. Alright, pass the turn. I know that it's risky. Like, I accepted it when I kept the hand. Followed Fountain into Sentinel. So that resolves, and then we're going to push it. They'll draw a card. The reason we're casting Push right now and not waiting till our main phase is if I draw the extra land, I don't want to pay the 1. I want to play Unmarked Grave. So we get to do the Ephemerate thing. So we get to look. Let's do Cage. And now Ephemerate. Take... I don't know. Is it Sentinel or is it Thoughtcast? I think it's Sentinel. Alright, pass the turn. Alright, so they've played that. They played the bridge. Alright. I don't mind missing an attack step. We'll pay the 1 here. I'm not guaranteed to draw a land anyway. Take the Thoughtcast. Draw. I'm just going to pass for now. Alright, so they have Thought Monitor, Urza. Does that do it? Can they play the Thought Monitor here? So it costs 5 less. It costs 7. So yes, they can play Thought Monitor. Drum was actually a good draw. Wow. I didn't grief there because I thought that maybe I could get on the way back. Like, now it just gets Urza. Alright, let's pitch a Persist here. So now we get most of their hand. Ephemerate. No. Alright. What does Grief reveal this time? A Relic. I think I have to let them keep the Thoughtcast. And we'll get in. Pass the turn. So now they get to draw 2. And another Thought Monitor. So they're gaining all of those cards back already. Memnite, yep. Ouch, 18. So now the Ephemerate rebounds. Let's target this one, I guess. Sure. Don't want to give them another card if I don't have to. Portable Hole. That one's a little bit embarrassing. And there's the extra land. So I guess if I was a little bit more dangerous, I could have played Unmarked Grave this turn. And I think our plan at the moment is to try to get the Angel into play and just name Artifact. Alright, so this Thought Monitor's pretty good at the moment. Let's grab the tower, I guess. It's fine. We're just going to take the 5 here. Come on, duck. So we're giving them a card here with the Esper Sentinel. Get the Sarah's Emissary. Pass the turn. I mean, I could swing, but I don't really see the point. I'm not going to outrace the Shadow Spear. Saga goes up to 2. They play a Seacrum Coast. We'll take 5. We're at 7. If they have a counterspell in hand, I'm dead. Alright, so we draw and it's a swamp. So I can pay the tax on the Esper Sentinel now. I was hoping to draw that land last turn. Okay, so it worked. We got the Angel in play. Now we can attack with our Griefs. I have protection too, right? Yeah, okay. I just want to make sure. So, yeah. So I'm a little bit worried about like a 1 casting cost thing they could get with Saga that would remove. Oh, they totally have like an Aether Spellbomb here. I think I'm dead. This deck like typically plays Aether Spellbomb. I don't know why I didn't think of that until now. Ooh, no Spellbomb. Oh, it has pro artifacts. So, okay, that would make sense. Yep, my bad. Alright, it does, you know, protect you a little bit from that. So their out would be... what's that card called? Like the bad artifact swords. I can't think of it now. Alright, Google told me. Dispatch. That would be the card in question here. Right here, Dispatch. So I've seen this in a couple lists before. I'm not saying it's stock, but I've had it played against me. And our opponent concedes the game. Okay, so we won game number 2. Now we have to fight back. They have a lot of graveyard hate. A lot. So that makes me a little bit more interested in these Stony Silences. Alright, Teferi, I'm sorry, but I just don't think you're good enough here. Time to go. Get out of my deck. Alright, so we have Solitude with Ephemerate, which is pretty sweet. Yeah, let's snap this off. Alright, so they just have a turn 1 coast, no play. Draw. Emissary, okay. Just going to pass the turn. I guess I could have led on like Solitude here. Or the plane, so that way I could Solitude with Ephemerate, but it seems unlikely that's a play that I want to make. Ingenious Smith, you got it. Draw. So this is interesting because I want to play the planes for Solitude, but that means I can't Tainted Indulgence, and I sort of want the white card for the Solitude with the Mending. Alright, I think I'm just going to Tainted Indulgence on their end step. Saga moves up to 2. Drum. They do not attack. Alright, I'm not really sure what that means. Might have been a misclick, or they just want to use the Saga. Alright, so... I can attempt to persist here, but I don't have any protection. And next turn they get a graveyard hate piece, so I need to do it now. So I want to draw Grief. Draw. I guess Grief didn't actually do it here. I get Solitude to remove the Smith. And that they could still Metallic Rebuke then. If I get rid of the drum, they can't. Alright, so let's switch phases. Okay, now I can persist, bringing back the angel. Artifact. Pass the turn. Alright, they are not activating for a construct, which is sort of interesting. They choose to get a relic, okay. I think their plan here is to beat me down with an Ingenious Smith. And they have the dispatch. I have Solitude up so I can remove their third artifact. If they have Rebuke here, I actually have another Solitude. And they only have 2 artifacts, so all this does is tap my creature. Alright, so I go to 16. Draw. Yes, and let's get in there. I can just bounce the Ingenious Smith when they try to pump it up on their turn. And now that I have Ephemerate up, I can protect it from another dispatch as well. That's a drum. Okay. 2 cards in hand. Thought cast. Sure. So we're going to bounce the Smith here, and they cannot replay it. They don't get to draw a card because Channel is not a spell, it's an ability. Alright, draw. Good grief. Let's get in there. Alright, so they're at 11, and now we'll cast Grief. 3 cards. We know one of them is the Smith. They can keep that. Let's get rid of Thought Monitor, since Thought Monitor helps them dig for Dispatch, and that's how we lose this game. So here's the Ingenious Smith. They pick up a Shadow Spear. Okay. Draw. Another Solitude. Attack. This should put them to 2. And I know that their last card in hand is Spell Pierce. Okay, so I think now's the time that I want to do this. So let's get rid of the Esper Sentinel. And now we'll Ephemerate. Sweet. In theory, I could hold open Ephemerate there for Dispatch. But our opponent is already dead, assuming they even draw Dispatch to 92 creatures on board. And we got it. We are now 2-0. Getting the hang of this deck, little bit by little bit, but this is pretty sweet. I'm enjoying this build for sure. Playing your favorite combo deck in Paper just got so much easier with the Epic Storm Mini Token Pack. You can pick one up at theepicstorm.com/shop for $13. It includes 64 double-sided mini tokens. That's 128 tokens total. And they include 10 black, 10 blue, 10 red, 5 green, 5 white, 3 colorless, 20 storm counters. That means that you can count your way all the way up to 20 for Grape Shot, everyone's favorite Stormwind condition, a Galvanic Relay Exile Indicator, 4 treasure tokens for Strike It Rich, and then 10 monk tokens for our vintage friends. It also has Slime Time Live, Ave Progenitor Ooze tokens with the power and toughness already built in to make playing in Paper so much easier. No fumbling around with dice, we've got you covered. Make sure to go grab those if you're playing Modern. And then Squirrels versus Goblins, Chatterstorm versus Empty the Warrens, the Battle of the Ages. You definitely need 20 Squirrel tokens and 20 Goblin tokens. You're going to love this mini token pack, I promise. And once again, you can grab that at theepicstorm.com/shop. Match 3, we're on the play. Is this good enough? I don't think so. Let's mulligan. So we have turn 1 Persist Grief, or I'm sorry, Grief Ephemerate. This seems fine. I think we get rid of the Solitude here. Opponent mulligans to 5, and I have Grief Ephemerate. To 4. To 3. What are you playing? It's gotta be like Tron, right? Let's play the Grief. And our opponent has conceded the game. Well, we got a turn 1. They said it wasn't possible in Modern. Here we are, from Neoform to Esper Reanimator. Turn 1 wins all around. You love to see it. I have no clue what our opponent's playing. I am just going to resubmit, I believe. Game 2. We have a whole lot of prismatic endings and not really a whole lot going on here. I think that this is a fairly easy mulligan. Okay. I think that this hand is very reasonable. The question is, what card do you put back? I think it's the Solitude. They kept 7 this time. And it was in fact Tron. Okay. Damn, we drew the land. I even thought about putting back land 2, and then I was like, that's crazy talk. I can't do that. Bummer. Oh no, I didn't fetch a white source! Oh no, I was too busy narrating. Punt count 1. I mean, I've probably made other mistakes this league, let's be honest. Alright, I'm just going to pass. That was a big mistake, though. That was bad. That was a dummy move. Alright, not a Tron land. I can appreciate that. Alright, and we hit Persist. Alright, this time I will fetch a white land. Let's not punt. Godless Shrine. Pitch. So Grief is on the stack. Interesting that they're using Chromatic Star first. But do they have Veil of Summer? Okay. And now I'll Ephemerate it because then I get to Grief again on my next turn. So I got mega punished for my misplay. Sylvan Scrying. Now they're only 1 land away from Tron. Not loving this right now. Alright, so let's Grief them. I don't know if we can beat Double Worm Coil. That's pretty strong. So if they draw Tron, they'll have 8, so they can just play the Ugin. Let's just grab a Hallowed Fountain. I think I'm supposed to bounce the Chromatic Star and make them waste more resources. Muldrifter looks so bad here. Alright, no whammies. No whammies. And they have the missing piece. So next turn they have Ugin. And I didn't realize that we were facing... I mean, I called it in game 1, but I could have sided in Thoughtseize. Instead, I think we just lose now. Unless I draw, like, pretty much exactly Ephemerate. Even if I draw Ephemerate, they have Double Worm Coil. Draw. Full plus. think I'm supposed to Faithful Mend here. Alright, I'm gonna call it. We did not get this one. Let's go to game 3. My misplay really punished me. Alright, we definitely want Thoughtseize. Think we can get rid of Ending. It's not reliable in this matchup. Also not in love with Teferi. I feel like bringing in Stony Silence for their like spell for the whatever they're called. I guess it hits map, but it's just like we're on the play. All right, we'll try it out. I don't love it, but I'm at least willing. Oh, let's get Muldrift out here. Yeah, we don't want that card. Is Teferi better than Prismatic Ending? Ending hits map? Let's try this. Alright, game 3, we're on the play. I don't think I'm allowed to keep this. Garbage! Come on. This is so bad. Opponent mulligans to 4. I'm gonna need to get really lucky to win this. Alright, so we're going to fetch for Godless Shrine and cast Thoughtseize. My plan is to just not take anything that's like a Chromatic Star or a map and just bank on me drawing land 2 for the Stony Silence. O-Stone. Well, that card's a million years away. Take the map. Alright, so they have Tower and a Star. Yep. Come on, land. Nope. Pass the turn. Versus mine, that's scary. Alright, so they sacrifice Chromatic Star into another star. So they have O-Stone and 1 unknown. Draw. Pass the turn. Needed land 2 on time. So they made a green. Is this a Sylvan Scrying? Another map. Now they have Tron. The Stony Silence is too slow. I mean, it stops the O-Stone, but it's not enough. Yeah, that land was just way too late. So they have Tron. They have O-Stone and 2 unknowns. That doesn't do anything. At least for now. I mean, you might as well play the O-Stone, right? Yeah, okay. So they have 1 card in hand. I don't know if I'm actually supposed to do anything here. Like, if their last card in hand had text on it, don't you think they would have played it last turn? Unless it was, like, exactly Ulamog. I think it's more likely to be a land. Oh, now I'm getting punished. Alright, so they're going after my land. I can kill the Karn. But that's the play that I actually want to make here. So I could end step Solitude to hit the Karn, but I feel like I'm never coming back if I do that. And I feel like this was the draw because they could have played this last turn and they didn't. Okay, so I guess we're doing this play. I'm going to attack the Karn. And then I'll Ephemerate. Really far behind here. No. Draw. Alright, attack Karn. Okay, what are you holding? Are they just like copies of Veil of Summer? Let's get in there, I guess. So they're not doing anything with a bunch of mana. This feels like Veil of Summer to me. I could main phase this. I'm not going to, just because if it is Veil of Summer, I don't want them to draw into something that punishes me. Karn the Great Creator. Unfortunate. Picks up Ensnaring Bridge. I have Prismatic Ending isn't out to that. I also have Otawara at my deck. Alright, let's play this Tainted Indulgence. Discard the Archon. And let's persist. If they have a Veil, I think it stops the first trigger. I was not expecting Warping Wail. That's a bummer. Okay. Yep. Sundering Titan. Well then, I believe that's going to wrap this one up. Yep. Okay, so we are now 2-1. Not a good one. Hey, you're still watching. Don't forget to like this video, leave a comment, and subscribe. If you're looking to make a purchase from Card Hoarder, TCG Player, or Amazon and are looking to support us, you can open up our description down below, and in there you will find our affiliate links. Those same links are found on the homepage of the Epic Storm. But that's not all. We've included a Card Hoarder button on our website that will load the Epic Storm in your Card Hoarder cart to make life simple for you. Time for the fourth match. We're on the play. Let's see if we can do a little bit better this round. I think this is fine. We'll keep this. Went with a pretty quick mulligan to 5 here. Alright, let's kick it off. We're going to play a Flooded Strand, and on their end step, we'll search up a Hallowed Fountain. Misty. Alright, so they're likely on the, what is it called? The Yawgmoth deck. What are words anyway? Draw. I think I'm going to main face this Tainted Indulgence. Discard Solitude. Pass. They're going to get one turn with the bird. I could have Solitude the bird to slow them down, but I feel like that's a waste of resources. Okay. 2 cards left in the opponent's hand. Let's persist back the Solitude. Get out of here, young wolf. Alright, and they pick up an Overgrown Tomb. I could get punished if they just slam a Yawgmoth here, but I don't think I'm supposed to pitch Solitude to remove a bird. Maybe I am, I don't know. I guess the upside is that I could persist again next turn, but then if they had land 3, it wouldn't have mattered anyway. Drell's Messenger, okay. You got it. Draw. Let's pitch the Teferi, I think. Remove the Messenger. Let's persist. Get rid of one of these birds. Hiya. I'm an aggro deck. We've been over this. Alright, so Strangleroot, you can have that. And they think they're the aggro deck, which is not true. Draw. Grief. Let's pitch this on Burial Rites. I don't feel like I'm going to get that in the graveyard, so it's fine. So they have a Calling left in their hand. Let's remove the bird. I just want to slowly remove their outs. Get in. Next turn I can ending the Strangleroot Geist. Hierarch, sure. They choose not to attack. Alright, let's deal with this. Is a cord for Dryad Arbor. Alright, so they have nothing. I mean, if they want to trade us... honestly, I would trade my Solitude for this Dryad Arbor in a heartbeat. Good deal. This keeps them off Yawgmoth. Yeah, our opponent thought twice. Correct choice. Alright, they're not attacking. Draw. I'll attack again. Did you draw another cord for one? Unmarked Grave. Go get an Archon of Cruelty and pass the turn. Does this look like a cord for one? So they're looking to rip a Yawgmoth off the top rope. Grist, wow. That was a good one. Back-to-back decent draws. Let's remove the young wolf. And then we'll attack the grist for 4. Hopefully they double block, leaving just the hierarch. Yeah. Come on, don't change it. They're thinking a long time here. So if this goes according to plan, this is what happens. And then I can persist the Archon that will sacrifice the trigger. Or well, they'll sacrifice the ignoble to the trigger, and then they can't use Grist to kill my creature. So they should leave another back, but let's see what they do. Alright, so they took the bait. Persist, and we'll get the Archon of Cruelty. Alright, so we need them to not rip a creature here. And our opponents conceded the game. We did it! Nice. Okay. Love it. So we want these endings. We want Fatal Push. I don't think this is a Teferi matchup. Let's get that out of here. Let's get the Drifters out. Honestly, the Unburial Rites too. It's just way too clunky. I think this card should probably go. Every time I've drawn it, I've just thought to myself, like, this card is way too costly. So the question is if we want something like Thoughtseize or do we want Leyline? Leyline stops a lot of their Undying stuff, but it's not really that crucial in my opinion. Leyline's probably better than Thoughtseize. I don't have strong opinions. We'll try it out. I do think that Teferi's like pretty spectacularly bad here though. Sure. I'm willing to try this. They have their own copy of Leyline. That hurts. Draw. So I have... What answers that? I have 1 Adawara? Yeah, I have 1 Adawara in the deck. Prismatic Ending the Bird. Alright, so there's my punish for boarding out Teferi. My inexperience with the matchup really showing there. Land 2 into Blood Artist, sure. Persist looks a little embarrassing here. Pass. Young Wolf. Draw. I think we're just building up to like hardcast Solitude. Alright, so I'll take 1. I'm at 16. I'm not going to fetch first because I actually want to draw lands. Okay, let's play a Faithful Mending. Get rid of Persist and another Mending. Grab another Godless Shrine. Draw. I guess it's a play I can make here. Leyline of the Void. Pass the turn. I think our opponent's a little bit stuck on mana. This is a chord for 2. Okay. Like a wall of roots? Is that what this is? Really? You're just going to get Strangleroot, guys? That's interesting. So that tells me that they might have Evolution in hand. But Evolution could just sack the Blood Artist. I'm not sure. Alright, before blockers, we'll flash in Solitude. Remove the Geist. And then go to blocks. We'll take care of a Young Wolf. And another Young Wolf. Opponent has 3 cards. Draw. Tainted Indulgence. Let's cast it. Draw 2. We'll discard the extra Leyline. So that gives us 7 lands. We're actually fairly close to this Faithful Mending. Let's get in. Did I say we're pretty close to this Faithful Mending? Pretty close to the Archon. I'm 1 land away from being able to hardcast the Archon. Okay, go to 18. We're pod racing. The 4th Young Wolf? How busted. Draw. Alright, so I have an Archon next turn. Pass the turn. They drew the 3rd land. What does that mean? Is this a Grist? It is in fact a Grist. A little nervous now. I'm just going to draw. Okay, so it's an 8 mana cantrip that's also a removal spell. It's not the best. Well, there's an answer to Grist. I probably should have attacked first. In my head, I was like, what's the point? But there is a pretty obvious point at this stage in the game now. Alright, so they're going to kill my Archon. Archon down. Alright, they found land 4, so this could mean Yawgmoth. And it is in fact the Yawgmoth. That said, the Undying isn't a big factor here. They have no cards in hand. Another Solitude. Let's get rid of the Grist. Alright, cast another one of these. So now if they want to get value out of this, they have to do it before I attack. So they can't block and then sack and, you know, that sort of stuff. Okay, so they killed my Solitude. They got 2 cards out of it, though. Birds of Paradise into another Grist. Jeez, that's backbreaking. Okay. We still have 3 Prismatic Endings, I believe. Let's play the Tainted Indulgence to start. Get rid of this. Play this. And I'm going to attack Grist. Alright, pass. I'm legitimately worried about this Grist right now. Ah, these draws. So good. I need an ending. Okay, well I might as well play one of these as a cantrip. Okay, so we hit ending, that's good. We have to pass now. Alright, so they're going to kill our Archon of Cruelty. That's 2 Archons down, we have 1 in hand. Ignoble Hierarch. Okay, yeah, I guess I'm taking this. Interesting. How many Solitudes have I used? 1, 2. So we have 2 Solitudes left. Oh wow, Magus. I don't think our deck has a basic planes in it. So I can remove the Magus into Archon. This is rough. I have to make the play. This is so brutal. The Magus was a really good rip. I feel like I'm running out of gas here and they're so far ahead. So now they can sacrifice the Blood Artist and then buy time. Like, they could sacrifice the Yawgmoth if they need to, but they probably have a creature in hand as well. So we're waiting on the sacrifice trigger. Interesting, they sacrificed the Yawgmoth. Wasn't expecting that. They must have another in hand. So they're going to kill my Archon. Yep, here's the other Yawgmoth. Yep. Surprise, surprise. Draw. So if I play the Grief, we might be able to get them in for 2. Depends on if they choose to attack me or not. I'm holding these lands in hand because we have Faithful Mending in our deck, and I think we still have at least 1, I think 2. There's 1 Mending, 2 Mendings, 3 Mendings, so we have 1. And they should leave back the Yawgmoth. Unless they drew another creature. Outland Liberator. Okay. So now they can attack pretty freely. They choose not to. Draw. Interesting. So I can remove the Yawgmoth, but I don't think it actually does that much. So this will kill Yawgmoth. They can just double block. Or they can just kill it with the Yawgmoth and gain and draw some cards, which is probably the right play. Ah, that's nice. That is a good move. I have to pass the turn. Alright, so they drew a land. They get to flip the Outland Liberator now, and it becomes a 3/3. Draw. Adawara, but way too late. I think I'm just passing. Yep. Sure. At 21, they're at 4. So I can bounce the Grist and then discard it. I don't think I hate that. It's one way to answer it. But then maybe I'll get lucky and draw my 4th Archon. I mean, we're at 22 cards in deck, so it's not out of the question. It's been quite the match so far. I'll take 4. I mean, I also have another Fatal Push and a few more endings I sided in that I could maybe get my Grief through. Draw. And there we go. So we will push an Insect. Now we attack with our Menace creature, so they have to block with 2 or else they go to 1 life. Alright, so they're going to 1. 4 mana, is this another Yawgmoth? It is. They currently cannot pay any life, though, because they're at 1. So they attack, and I'll take 4. I go to 13. I just need the 4th Archon would actually just be lethal here. But I have a number of good draws here. We use both pushes, but I think I still have another Prismatic Ending or 2. 1, 2... I have 1 ending. So I have 1 ending, 1 Archon that I can think of. I have one Solitude. Alright, let's see what it is. Another Grief. That's interesting. The Menace keyword is really coming up, because now next turn they'll have to leave back 2 blockers. I'm sorry, 2 blockers per creature. Okay. Pass. They played the Misty. Strangler, Rootgeist. So now they can attack with 1 creature. They choose not to. Okay. So that leaves them a little bit of wiggle room against removal. We drew another land. We're going to just pass here. Because if I draw that Faithful Mending, I want to be able to discard these. There's 1 Faithful Mending left. Alright. Looks like we're in a little bit of a stalemate. Draw. That's interesting. I'm going to pass. I have a stop on their draw step, so at the end of their draw step, I can ephemerate their, or you know what I mean, grief, ephemerate, all that good stuff. Double land, okay. I mean, if they had been attacking me, I guess what happens, I think that they should have been attacking these last few turns. Maybe it's biased, I don't know. And an Indulgence, that's one that I'm definitely happy to see here. Alright, let's cast it. Does this win? I don't think I win this turn, so I'm going to pass and then Solitude the Yawgmoth on their end step in case they draw another. Because if I Solitude main phase and then swing out, all that happens is the board wipes for the most part, other than the Geist and I think 1 insect token. I must have drawn something here. Another Grist. Wow. Ugh. Yep. What are they going to do with it is the question. They're going to kill something. And my ley line's gone, so the Geist will come back. Okay, so I'll take 4 here, I go to 9. And then we're going to Solitude the Yawgmoth. This deck's really grindy. So they're going to go up to 3, which is the right number for grief. So any removal spell would do it here. Or the 4th Archon. So if I swing out, they can block 2 here and then trade the Solitude and the Geist. I definitely have to attack here. So they can block like that. Sure, so I end up with a Solitude at the end. Which just gets chumped into oblivion by Grist. Pass the turn. We have 1 Archon left that we're drawing to. They make another insect. And we'll take 3 down to 9. You got it. Come on, deck. I have the 4th ending and Archon here that win the game. There, draw. Alright, that's not the worst, because if they try to sacrifice to kill my Solitude, I can blink it. Is this a cord? Cord for 3. I mean, I could do it now and remove the Geist, but then the Grist kills the Solitude. I feel like it's just the play I have to make here. And if they don't kill the Grist, I then get to eat up more of their creatures. Alright, pass. So they have to kill the Grist here on the Solitude, or else the Solitude gets to remove the 3/3, but maybe that's fine for them. And the, what is it called? The Archon's no longer lethal, because I just gave them 2 life. Which means that this Grist became an even bigger problem. So I'm actually rooting for them to kill the Solitude now. And they choose not to. 4 mana? You draw another Yawgmoth? Okay, Leyline. Alright, and the rebound. Let's cast it. I think we should just get rid of the 3/3. There's Archon. I don't think I can play it here. Pass the turn. So the hope is that I swing out and they double block next turn, and then Archon kills the 3rd insect. They have 1 card. Draw. Alright, let's attack the Grist. They're triple blocking. Ooh, this just got way better for this Archon. Alright, let's see if this works. I mean, I could play the Grief here first. That's 7. I'm 1 short of hardcasting Grief. I'm just going to play it. So now they have to sacrifice the Grist, and I think we have it here. Alright, so it's Veil of Summer. That stinks. So now if they drew a creature, they can kill my Archon. This is brutal. All they need is a creature. Ooh. They plussed. Oh, and they hit another Grist. No! No! They're at 5 cards in deck, so I think they're just going to deck out. That's how we win this. Wow, we're winning by decking. Here we are. And I also need to not time out. Alright. Pass. What is this? You drew a cord? Okay. Alright, so I'm up 2 minutes on them. They milled another card. I mean, there's no Oracle in your deck. I'm just going to attack them, it's fine. What a wild game. And they are officially decked. Wow. This was a wild one. I'm just gonna pass. It's one way to win the game. I did not think I would win by decking tonight when I signed up with Esper Reanimator, so that was pretty sweet. Alright, we're 3-1 with 1 match left to go. If you're looking for more great Magic the Gathering content, definitely check out the Eternal Glory podcast. It is myself, Bryant Cook, alongside Brian Koval and Phil Gallagher. We primarily discuss Legacy. That said, a lot of what we talk about transcends all formats. We're available on all major podcast platforms. Alright, it's time for the 5th and final match. We're on the draw. I'm going to keep this. This hand seems strong to me. We have the Ephemerate Solitude play. We can even bring it back with Persist. It looks like our opponent's on the Murktide deck. Or the Indomitable Creativity deck. Okay. Do I just remove the clue? I don't know. What else is it doing? Pass. Okay, another land. Not ideal. We will pass the turn. Okay, and they're passing. Let's go get a watery grave. Need to draw something here. In theory, we can build up to Moldrift or Ephemerate. I guess that's something we can do. Although if I weren't playing these, it would be the fourth Indulgence, which would just be fine here as another looting. That would actually be on curve, because I could play the draw 2 into... I guess you don't want to Ephemerate, so that doesn't make sense. Land 4, so now they can go get their Dwarven Ruins, I believe it's called. Well, let's just grab the Rafine's Tower, it's fine. Draw. A lot of lands. Let's evoke this Moldrifter. I've been trashing this card all league, and there's a good chance we get to draw some cards here. Oh, they're going to counter it. Remanded. And there's the Dwarven Mine. Am I about to get creativitied? Okay. Looks like it. Let's attempt to remove that. Alright, no Transmorgify for you. They have 4 cards. Alright, let's try to resolve this on Burial Rites. The hard way. Am I getting Spell Pierced like an idiot? They're at 12. Yep. Should have known. Okay, so now they have another opportunity to play a Creativity or Transmorgify effect. I'll go to 12 as well. We're in a tie-ball game. 3 cards in hand. Flare land. I just messed up. They should have been untapped. So because I messed up, I'm going to change plans here and just hardcast this Drifter. If I should have flashed this back into Persist, but that's just not the play that I made. Went with 3 mana. Prismari Command, sure. Discards a Lightning Bolt Archon. And I am remanded once again. I take 1, I'm now losing. I'm at 11. That is the 8th mana, so if they have an Archon in hand, they can hardcast it. Another Dwarven Mine. 4 mana, so this looks like creativity for 2. Double Archon. I'm in trouble. Yep. Draw. So I can bring back Solitude. And then bring back Drifter as like a chump blocker. I'm just dead to anything they have, though. And then we flashback and Burial Rites on the Moldrifter. I don't know. Like, I know that Moldrifter seemed fine here, but I think this is just way too much mana for its effect. Now I have to get super lucky to be able to untap. Like, our opponent has 3 cards in hand. Like, they've already shown me Prismari Command and Lightning Bolt. I just don't think it's very likely that I'm allowed to untap. Alright, you've made a crab. Sure. Are you just toying with me? So I have to sacrifice a creature. Okay, discard a card. And then block. I am at 2, so I'm dead to Lightning Bolt. I'm dead to Prismari Command. This looks like a command. Yep. So we lost game number 1. I feel like I got bullied there a little bit. Okay. This definitely seems like a Thoughtseize matchup. Not so sure that I'm interested in the endings here. Maybe I'm wrong about that, though. So that's 62. Let's get the drifters out. And the some burial rites. So let's bring back in one ending. And try this. Game number 2. Nope. I don't think we're allowed to... Like, you can't keep that garbage. So here we have turn 1 Thoughtseize. Turn 2 Mending. I think we just have to bottom Teferi Ephemerate and hope to rip a reanimation spell. That's the game plan here. Okay. I just bottom my Teferi and immediately get punished. Okay. Thoughtseize. Take the remand. Pass. Alright, come on, Teferi. Opponent fetches. I'm just going to fetch now. I'm lazy. I don't care. You're not going to cast anything meaningful. It's fine. Obviously, you shouldn't do it on their main phase. Like, that was a mistake. But they're just going to ice me here, and that's fine, because I'm at least 2 turns away from drawing into Land Teferi anyway. So I am, in fact, being iced. Yep. So I could cast a Faithful Mending in response, but I'm just too far behind, I feel like. They're almost at the point where they could also replay the ley line if I did draw land into Teferi. Okay. So now they have the Dwarven Ruins to make a 1/1. There's Tef. So you're saying there's a chance? Nope, no chance. Nothing matters. I've never seen this many ley lines in my Modern experience. I haven't been on graveyard decks recently, though. I've been playing so much Neoform. And when I'm on Lotus Breach, I don't know, I don't see them that often. I just recorded with Breach, Giftstorm, and Neoform, and I did not see that many ley lines. Yeah, that's a command. Discards Bolt and a Tarn? Ouch. Getting beaten down by a dwarf. You got it. Draw. I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing anymore. I'm so far behind. Sure. So I'm going to 12. Another dwarf. Let's try another Faithful Mending. Alright, well, they're hellbent. Pass the turn. They'll sacrifice the clue to draw a card. And they've iced my land, sure. I go to 10. They're at 7 mana. They're pretty close to being able to hardcast an Archon. The third Dwarven Mine? Okay. Is this creativity? It is. I'm dead. I'm just waiting to click the concede button. There it is. So, oh wow, there's an Emrakul in there. I didn't know that this deck had an Emrakul in it. It's kind of wild. So we went 3-2, which is not terrible. Like if you told me at the beginning I'd go 3-2 with this, I'd be like, yeah, I'm in. I think Muldrifter really needs to go. I was constantly underwhelmed by it. I would play 4th copy of Tainted Indulgence, and maybe even the 4th Teferi in the main deck. I'd probably cut to some burial rites as well for something else. In the sideboard, I felt like it was fine for the most part. Stony Silence ended up coming up in the matches we had, but I'm not sure if it's actually the correct decision. I'm sorry, Pim, that I don't have better insight other than don't play Muldrifter, but that was my big takeaway here. Other than the fact that this deck is much better than the builds I've played in the past. It really does grind well, and I enjoyed that quite a bit. So thank you for watching, and I do appreciate it. Keep storming. Hey, Bryant Cook here. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please like and subscribe, but also follow the social media channels down below. If you want to support this content directly, I would recommend going to theepicstorm.com/shop. And if you need a little bit of assistance with the Epic Storm to get to that next level, I would recommend going to theepicstorm.com/tutoring. Don't worry, there's more great content coming right up.